Howdy folks, this is Singin' Toad, and today's video is going to be a part 2 or a continuation of my first video I did on this knife. This is the Joker Nomad, and in my first video it was just like an unboxing kind of first impressions type review, not a proper review because I didn't really have any time to work with the knife and get any real feedback on it. I have since corrected that. Now, before I go any further, I just wanted to make a couple quick announcements. The first one is I want to give a shout out to one of my subscribers, Toad on the Hill. He's a hilarious guy. He did a shout out to me in one of his recent videos. It's only fair that I give him a shout out back. If you're one of my subscribers and you've not gone over to his channel, please do so and subscribe to his channel if you haven't already. I invite you to do that. He makes great content. He's got a ton of knives, probably even more than I actually have, to tell you the truth. But please go check him out. Great sense of humor, and I enjoy his fellowship. Now, second announcement is I want to just make an announcement to also go in and check out Patty's Potato Peelers. I believe the fellow's name is Steven. Very nice guy. You know, he is battling shingles right now, and that's a horrible disease. My father-in-law had that disease, or ailment. I don't know if it's a disease, but it's an ailment for sure, and it's unpleasant, very unpleasant. So he's going through that right now. Now he is on the tail end of it. He's getting better, but go over to his channel and wish him all the best for me, if you haven't already. Anyway, with that out of the way, let's get going here. So back to the Joker Nomad. So what I intended to do this weekend is I wanted to get out and do some small game hunting. There's only a few weeks left of the season here where I'm at in the area that I'm in, but unfortunately those plans fell through, and I had to do the testing of this knife just in my backyard. So I'm actually going to cut to that testing I did in a moment here, and once I've done that, we'll come back and we'll talk more about this knife. So without any further ado, here's to the footage of me testing this knife out in my backyard. Okie dokie. So we are back after that bunch of silliness that you saw of me in my backyard goofing around with this knife. So I did some testing there, as you saw it. Now, I did want to do some chopping with it, and I didn't get around to it, mainly because I just didn't really have proper wood to do some chopping with. I would have liked to have a nice piece of 2x4. But this knife really isn't a chopper anyway, but I did want to do that, and maybe down the road, if I'm over at the bush and I find a nice log to chop into of some dead wood, I might film doing that. But at the moment, I didn't do any of that. But one thing I did not do with this knife that I want to do is some food prep. So I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate what kind of food prep this knife is capable of doing. So we're going to go ahead and put in our test subject, and let's go ahead and get that stem out of there. All right. So we have an apple. I'm not sure what flavor this apple is, but anyway, I think it's a Gala actually. All right, let's just try it right down the middle here. And I am going to send everything flying here. Let's just set that guy off to the side. All right, let's do a couple slices. This is weird trying to do this through the viewfinder. Let me tell you what. All right, let's see. Can we get a slice here? I'm going to wind up slicing my fingers off. I know this. Forgive me guys, I am moving everything around right now. And let's see here. I can see if I can get some thinner slices here. As you can tell, I'm not a chef. There we go, there's a little thin slice. So we have some slices here. They're not terribly bad. I'm going to get these guys out of the way. And let's see if I can just get some slices, some thin slices here. Now, the knife thickness definitely becomes a problem as you get into the thicker part of the apple right here. So I'm definitely feeling the resistance, and it's definitely harder to get really thin slices. Of course, I'm trying not to slice my fingers off. Okay, so here we go. So I don't know how well you can see that. Look at that. That's pretty thin. All right, so it can do food prep. I do like the fact that it's, the way the handle is back here. It does allow me to get my knuckles closer down to the cutting board, which is what you want with any type of knife that you're going to do for food prep. So, anyway, let's just get this junk out of the road. Okie dokie. So, I am now going to cut an onion up, and it's now going to be crying with singing toad. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm not going to do that, folks. So what we have is, we just did some food prep there. As you saw, it was able to get some thin slices, but the thickness of this blade and just the heft of this, not super ideal for food prep, but it'll get the job done. So if this is the only knife you had, and you're out in the camp or wherever, obviously you could definitely use this to do some food prep. Now, if I happen to be carrying this knife on my hip and I'm out doing some hunting and I get some wild game, I will try my best to do some processing of some wild game with this. I don't know if I'll be able to film that or not, folks, because YouTube's policies on things of that nature are really, really strict. So I might just have to show you the aftermath of the butchering, but not the actual process of me butchering, because YouTube's not going to like that. But at any rate, what I did want to quickly mention is that one thing about the sheath that happened to me is that these button snaps are very weak. And when I was drawing the knife out of the sheath, it's kind of hard for me to demonstrate this, but when I was taking the knife out of the sheath, it actually came up out of my belt. These things popped off, so I'm not overly happy with the design here of that. And I do like the other Joker knife, the Ember Sheath Design, better. The ferrocerium rod, as you saw in the footage I rolled earlier, did work very well at lighting a fire. So so did the one for the Ember. It worked very, very well as well. So anyway, final thoughts with this knife is, the thickness is, in my opinion, it's a little bit overbuilt. I still wish it was a tiny bit thinner, and I'm also not overly fond of the sheath, But I also did not care for that lanyard. As you can see, it's off. In the video with me testing, you could see the lanyard flapping around. It was very large, it didn't go around my wrist very well, and I didn't want to tie a smaller knot in it, so I just took it off. And I also did that the same with the Joker Ember. I find that the lanyard just, all it does is when you try to draw the knife out, it just snags around here, and it pulls this out of your pants, or off your belt, which isn't very good. So, to me, because this is not a chopper style knife, I don't really need the lanyard, okay? But granted, I could always put it back on if ever need be. So that's really all I have to say about that. Thanks very much for watching. Singing Toad signing out.